Then they talked about Shivani being in the ring, plugged the AEW World Title match next Tuesday. Hangman is his guest. And then John Moxley came out as well. So Moxley basically said after 3 years, it feels damn good to be back in Toronto. You always got a target on your back as a world champ. A lot of people crumble under the pressure, some faster than others. That felt like a shot at a certain Chicagoan. He says it's a job that requires you to be ruthless, and that's what he loves about this job. And then, as soon as he talked about Hangman, Hangman came out, said, whatever Moxley was going to say it to his face. Paige basically got in the mic and got handed the mic. He said Moxley said meant the world to him. Called Moxley a great champion, a great father, and a great husband. And MJF is shown because MJF always has to be shown apparently now.
Doing anything Moxley does now at this point. Fuck.
And he has the chip, of course. Heyman ignores him and is pretty much like playing off of him through most of the segment, and says Moxley views him as a kid, which Moxley then agreed. Basically said, yeah, I said it. And Heyman didn't like that kid shit very much, and he said he doesn't view Paige as the same guy who knocked him off the ladder a year ago. He doesn't think Paige has the guts to pull the trigger to do what it takes to win. Kind of a direct callback to that CM Punk finish. Match.
Yeah.
Paige alludes to that as well. He said he's not the same guy. He hesitated, when in that Punk match. He went for the trios title with his best friends. His old friends have disappeared. The crowd kind of goes, ooh. And he's anxious and he's depressed, but he's still here because he's a man. And, man, when he said that, like, I think Twitter exploded. All the forums I was in exploded. It was like this. I feel like this is the best promo of his career. I love this shit. I was ready to run through a wall. He said, like Moxley, he's lost loved ones, but he's a father and a husband. He started punching himself in the face like he was Ric Flair or something, or Terry Funk. And, he fucking hard weighs himself. Crazy, by the way, to do that. He doesn't care if Moxley's family's there next week. He's going to do whatever it takes to win the title back. Paige gives Moxley his word that he's going to be the next AEW World Champion. I love this.
I had problems paying attention to it because they kept cutting to MJF, and like I don't care because it makes me careless because I can't even get into like the tension of those two because like I know he's gonna fucking lose because they have this fucking dude literally they before as he starts off this promo, you see the crowd turn and look up behind them to see because the spotlight went up to the sweet box where MJF was. Then they cut to a wide shot where you can see him hanging over the top of them like the fucking sword of Damocles. And I'm like,
or Shao Kahn.
So why do I give a shit about this? Yes. Why do I give a shit about this match? As far as Paige's promo, like it was really well delivered. I know it plays into like the ancient millennial cowboy thing or whatever else as far as being called a kid or whatever else. The problem is like I'm not a person that questions Hangman Page's manhood. So for me, he's like yelling a lot of things that like I already fucking know and agree with. So I'm like, yeah, already past that. I'm already past it. Why are you still hung up on this? For me, like when you get the kid line and he cuts his promo and you look at his, like for me, and you look at his promos this year, it seems to me like he's cutting another, like this is Moxley standing in for CM Punk and he's talking to CM Punk after CM Punk big leagued him. And for me, it's kind of like, bro, I don't care. So for me, like, it didn't work for me. And also it's like him talking about like he has nothing left, so he's very desperate is like, it just makes you think of like how little they've done with him all year since he lost the title. And so it's like I'm not feeling like after he loses this match he's going to be in some good place again because it's like they don't do shit with him anymore. And like he needs to find something to fucking do after this.
I wonder if he's going to turn heel.
Oh, God. Like,
Zekumaki, James, I see what you're doing. You hating.
I'm hating.
Please explain.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's going to lose. Like, do y'all think he's going to be champion?
I don't think he's gonna win. I think this promo
Yeah.
was excellent though. Like, and
It's well delivered.
it,
For me, it doesn't emotionally resonate with me in that kind of way because it's like him. Like, there is this thing about, like, I guess, like, millennials, where it's like this generation thing of like it is generation like I guess our kids will say the same thing about us as far as like we don't like what it means to be a man and to grow and all that kind of thing to be a man. And like I think that kind of like thought process is like ultimately toxic because like when people talk about the things that make a man is mostly like things like involving like hating women. So like I don't care. Like who gives a shit? Like I'm a grown adult. I have a penis. Like I identify as male. I guess that means I'm an adult man. In the story, it doesn't matter like how I handle or things like that. Like that be a man thing is like what gets people's blood going. And for me, I've always thought that was fucking. It's always been fucking stupid, and that's what's led to a lot of like men's demises. It lives behind the penitentiary. Like so, so for me, like that's why it doesn't resonate for me. So I just take it as different. Like I see, I like you say, like you want to run through the wall for that thing. It's like okay, but like you know, it's totally different. Like when I talk about that toxic masculinity thing, is like, yeah, that's the reason why like you have Ye out here talking about like why the MAGA stuff always spoke to him. Is like he's like this is what men do. It's like see how hateful that shit is. Like stay away from that Hangman. You're a baby face. I don't want you to dig into this. You're getting mad at someone like I guess challenges manhood by calling him a kid. I guess I don't know. Like for me, I feel like it'd be more effective if you've been like you call me a kid. Well, the kid do this and slap the shit out of Moxie, and then they had a pull apart. I felt like that would have been more effective than this promo. I'm not even saying it's a bad promo. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's like if you are that child.
I think it plays more onto his "I'm not a little homie." Like, and this,
but he is though, and we all know that.
Maybe he's not like, and that's why he's punching himself in the head. Like, and it's just disrespect.
But then he punches himself in the head, and he gets a teardrop of blood out, and then he tries to rub it on Moxie's face or on his white shirt, and I was like, he didn't even get. And then he kept trying to like spread it more and more after he punched himself because he realized I ain't gonna pick myself no more. Like it's just like, oh man, like I feel like the promo I see what he's going for doesn't necessarily work for me. I know it's gonna work for others. And then, like, he can get the blood out, but he's trying to get the blood out. And I was like, oh, man, you should just gig yourself, bro. Instead of trying to hurt. And now, not half your face going to swell up and be discolored. Like, it just felt like.
I think the promo, like
it was I don't want to say all over the place, but, like, it definitely didn't help him with having MJF out there. Like, it was more effective. Like, even the stuff he was trying to do, I think is good. I don't love it. But, like, don't go out there and put MJF in front of all the stuff Moxley does. It's going to, like, literally, like, I don't want to say he feels like interim champion, but like it feels like similar to when Kenny Omega at times was a champion, where it's like, all right, bro, we know we fucking get it. You're like the belt's going to end up in this one guy's hands. Can we like at least let us enjoy what the champion's actually doing as opposed to like feeling like everything doesn't matter until we get to the final point. And like with this Moxley thing, that's what it feels like is happening with MJF, like being over the top of everything. It's like, bro, we get it. We know what the main event of Full Gear is going to be. Relax.
Yeah, I think it's Hangman going for another like it's like another step in his growth. It's like I'm not gonna let Jon Moxley stand face to face with me and be sunned by him. So,
but this is a two-way street, right? Like they should go back and like discuss their actual tension aside from like I'm being, you know, because this happened with Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler in 2016, where it's like Ambrose a champion, we know he's about to go through we know he's going to beat Ziggler, and Ziggler, you know, like has that promo where like you know cuts that great promo and then super kicks Moxley in the face, and then when they get to SummerSlam, they start super hot. Like just open the stretch and like there was nothing left. I'm not saying that that's going to be this case, but it's like when Moxley like gets in this, I don't know, like big boss type of mode. It doesn't really feel like he's beatable. But it like I don't think this. I don't know if anyone like they might like the promo. I don't think anyone's gonna actually buy that like he's gonna get beat though. And like he's a former world champion. He was champion, you know, at the beginning of the year. Like I don't think he needs to cut this promo that no one believes in me type of thing. It was like, well, then what's the point of us going through all this the last 2 years if you got to cut this promo again, or not again, but like you got to cut this kind of promo. Right? You feel like you're being dismissed. It's just.
Well, he dismissed him. Like that's why. Like he should have dismissed him.
My point is, if this was the direction, go back to like stop right there, come up with something else. I'm not saying like it's a bad promo because of story. I'm saying I don't like this story. Y'all should never did this story to begin with for him to cut this promo.
So we got